Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Yes, my beard is growing. It's actually, I just figured out it's been about growing since November. 8 months now since this whole thing started, and I'm not going to cut it off until, well, when this whole thing finishes, if it does. But anyway, we're talking about naked shorting today and why it's important to think about this in relation to GameStop. All right, there's enough information right now about AMC all over the freaking market, and it's be going crazy right now. If you want to learn about AMC, go watch another guy's channel. Another YouTuber, or just appear in the stock market. But today I want to talk about GameStop because I want to give you a quick reference guide to some important due diligence that was, again, resurrected. It was taken off the internet by some reason, but it was resurrected, and it's important to discuss for you to learn about the importance of what's going on. What's naked shorts, and why is this important to GameStop, okay? So back in January, Ryan Cohen stepped in, and at one point in time, GME did almost 200 million volume in one day. All right, now as buyers come in, market makers, that's new terminology, market makers are like Citadel, they had to add liquidity from somewhere, where they can get it from. After all, right, GME's 70 million shares outstanding pales in comparison to most stocks in any of the exchanges, right? Just in general, for example, okay, AMC has 450 million. Nokia has 4.7 billion. GME, GameStop has 70 million. This is important. All right, you got two vocabulary words: AP, authorized participants, and ETFs. Okay, so we're going to talk about these today. So ETFs trade on the market like stocks, but they actually represent some proportion of underlying securities. Now, the AP are authorized participants. They're big banks like Citadel, and they trade these ETFs in groups of 50,000 shared called creation baskets. Okay. Now, these creation baskets can be exchanged with the underlying securities in the ETF proportions. It could be any proportion, but we'll get into more of that in the later part of this, but also in the more of the due diligence. For an AP, okay, an AP are the big banks like Citadel. 50,000 shares of the ETF equals a creation basket, which again equals 50,000 shares of some underlying securities. They're interchangeable with a small fee, okay? This process, going back and forth, allows the banks and Citadel to profit from arbitrage, the profit of creating or redeeming creation baskets to profit from the differences in ETF market price, all right, which is the NAV, the net asset value of securities underlying it. Sorry, there's a lot of terminology here, so I will explain this again later in greater detail. We'll see how it goes. All right, so basically, APs can make, again, higher and more predictable returns by exploiting an exemption that allows them to sell ETF shares that they do not own up to 6 days before purchasing the securities needed to create them. That's important. APs can make higher and more predictable returns by exploiting an exemption that allows them to sell ETF shares they do not own up to 6 days before purchasing the securities needed to create them. Okay, this is effectively short selling via ETF, and they're legally exempt from locating a valid share to borrow. So it's naked shorts selling via ETF. Got it? Also, the shares deposited, shorted, naked or otherwise, for the ETF creation are not recorded in the ETF books. Yeah, they're not recorded. So any short interest involved in arbitrage will not show up in the FINRA numbers. Who has been checking FINRA all the time recently? Yep, a lot of retail brokers. Now, this doesn't have to be done because it was a Securities Act of 1933. 1933, okay? Yeah, I'm sure. We can get into laws right now, any of that, in another video. The author of this whole thing, again, is not a financial advisor, just an average person with time and curiosity. He or she argues that Citadel and friends try to bankrupt GME, GameStop, with this system by hiding naked shorts and FTDs across the ETFs, hoping to dilute the share price all the way to bankruptcy. All right, now, including the links down below, he or she discusses this mechanism in pages and pages, okay, between high-frequency trading role between BOA, the banks, GS, JP got involved in how Ryan Cohen pretty much handed Citadel's over to BlackRock. All right, and what all the footprints left behind might reveal about the scope of thing. This is important because this is what this person did in just 6 months by learning. And now there are 300,000 people on superstonk with a computer, free time, and they're pissed off to go and get this. All right, these are just average people, all around. All right, so go take a look. There's a lot to learn because in the last, it's not 6 months, the last 8 months of all this going on. Naked shorts, there's a lot more going on than you think. So all links are down below, and credit goes all to the author, original author of this, and to those reposting. Thank you so much for doing this. And like this, yeah, going to the moon. So thanks for watching. When you wake up, focus on what's going on. AMC is going to be blowing up, but also remember, GameStock is this silent nuclear bomb. AMC is going to be this fuse that's going to be going off to the moon. So stay safe. Remember, back up everything. There's a lot of crazy shenanigans, cyber attacks going on. Last Friday was a lot of things going on. So get everything done. Back everything up. Passwords, everything. Anyway, take care. Have a great day.